guys? It's your boy Alex, and welcome back to another reaction video on the Brave Lionheart channel. And today, this is one that has actually been kind of recently requested with other stuff. And yes, I am trying to get to other things on my channel as best and as quick as I can, like I've said multiple times, and I'm trying my best to get to it. Today, we're taking a look at something that I haven't looked at since my old channel, which, yeah, that channel, rest in peace, basically. But anyway, today we are taking a look at the channel Animat, or Electric Dragon something. I think it was like 95 or something, but everyone knew his channel as Animat, and what he basically does is review stuff, and he also does like top 10 lists, basically. And I know a lot of people have actually said that my voice kind of sounds similar to his. I've heard a little bit of it. It's kind of similar, not really entirely similar. I mean, we both have like different like energies to our voices and like stuff like that. But anyway, speaking of what I said about he also does top 10 lists, that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. We're going to be taking a look at his top 10 list. Now, what exactly could we be looking at for a top 10 list today? Well, how about something related to cartoons? More specifically, the best kind of cartoons. Yep, today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Looney Tunes list. Though it's actually a top 10 worst Looney Tunes character list. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to pretend that, like, there's going to be certain Looney Tunes characters out there that are, you know, not great. But, to be honest, like, there are, like, a lot of, like, Looney Tunes characters that I like and I think that are actually interesting. But let's actually take a look at this list and see which characters he thinks are the worst. Alright, we're starting off with showing one of my actual, like, real favorite Looney Tunes characters right off the bat. But then I guess we're actually going to start the video and get into, like, the characters that he thinks that are actually the worst. And I'm guessing most people do think they're the worst. But we'll just really jump into this video. Although I think if there are certain ones that are on this list that I like and he happens to, like, hate, I might have to dislike the video. No, I'm just kidding. I won't, like, dislike the video. But he'll probably have his reasons for it. So, without further ado, let's dive right into his top 10 list of the worst Looney Tunes characters. So, starting the video in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And sorry about that. My voice got a little weird because of phlegm again coming up in my throat. And considering it's been kind of, like, very hot these past few days, weeks, and months, and the allergy season is starting to come back, so there is that. Oh, and well, this popped up. Give me a second. Hold on.
I know what you might be thinking. Is it even possible to make a list like this? I mean, is there even such a thing as a bad Looney Tunes character?
I had to clear my throat again for like a second.
I love the Looney Tunes throughout my entire life. And I agree that they're not just some of the greatest cartoons of all time, but the characters are also some of the masters of comedy.
Did not know Roadrunner was packing.
Century, many of them are still beloved icons today in their own right, like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Porky Pig, Sylvester, and many more. But let's be honest, with a huge roster of characters over the years, not all of them are
good old Ralph.
And there have been some that make people feel like Yosemite Sam more than Friar Porky.
Wow, that's a statement you thought you'd never hear.
We'll be highlighting the real
that's clearly someone I've never seen or heard of.
Like Daffy, Sam, or Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, I wonder if he's gonna be on this list.
That are either less popular for a good reason, are terribly outdated, or just...
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers might have also added some characters that... Who is that?
Must be featured in
sorry about that.
Shorts from the golden age of cartoons.
I had to like clear my throat there for a second. Again, there's phlegm coming up, and I just also ate lunch, so it might be happening a lot.
I'm Animat, and these are the top 10 worst Looney Tunes characters.
Alright, here we go. I like that he made that his intro for his top 10. Alright, and we're starting the list.
Now let's begin this list with something big. Possibly the biggest character in the entire Looney Tunes roster. Or at least, that's what Sylvester literally
Wait, is it? Is this number 10? Oh, come on!
Look at this.
I actually like this character.
I'll admit that I don't
I
necessarily.
thought at first he was
have a
gonna mention, like,
problem with
Sylvester's
him
son,
himself.
Junior.
I mean, he's just a baby kangaroo. There's only so much that you could do with a character that's meant to look cute and not get caught.
Oh, that's actually kind of
But
sad.
the reason why he's starting this list
I
is
forgot
because
that was
his
his
names
first
are,
design when he was
well,
introduced.
repetitive.
Thankfully, they changed it because
He escaped
this is not a
captivity
great design
and
for him.
captures Sylvester, who is usually with his son, where he gets mistaken for a giant mouse. And for the rest of the cartoon, the
Oh,
cat tries
yeah,
to
he
capture
got
the kangaroo,
wrecked in most of the
but
episodes
always
they were
fails.
introduced together. Oh, that is painful. Thankfully, he's a toon because his bones would have been shattered after
There have
that.
been a few rare instances where creator Bob McKimson did change up the formula a little bit to make more room for fresh material, like Bellhoppy, where Sylvester tries to put a bell around his neck so that he can join a
Oh.
club, or Lighthouse Mouse, where both Hippety and Sylvester fight for switching the lights on a lighthouse. But again, most of the time, all he does is the same.
Yeah,
mouse shtick.
I can agree that it does
Other
get
sets
kind of, like,
Sylvester chases,
repetitive.
Tweety or Speedy
Hey,
Gonzales,
he's still got, like, a
really
cute character
materials that
design.
make each cartoon stand out, rather it be changing locations or playing with their personalities. Even if I said that there's not much to criticize on him, there's also not much to remember him by as a non-verbal baby kangaroo. Hippety may be cute the first few times you meet him,
Oh,
but like
jeez.
where he's from, his charm and
Oof.
memorability go down under really
That's
quick.
painful also.
Town's not big enough for
I think this actually is something I don't think he said, but I'm probably gonna have to bring this up. Where did they get those boxing gloves? Like, I understand they were shipped from Australia. Do you think the people that shipped them there, like, gave them those boxing gloves? Or did they just find them while they were getting shipped to somewhere else? Like, was it just in the crate that they're usually in? That's just what I want to know. I don't know if there's actually an explanation for why they both have those, but if someone has that explanation, let me know in the comment section down below.
This one is going to be a little different because this character is here not because he's bad and hateable, but it's the one that I actually feel the most sorry
Yeah.
for. Sounds weird, I know, but let me explain. We all know Porky
That quick
Pig,
little
right?
smile.
One of the most iconic stars
Don't
of
tell
the
me
cartoons,
Porky is on this
also
list.
Coming out of that drum at the end going,
That's all, folks.
while he's mostly known as the toon's go-to straight man, some may forget that he's actually the first member of the LT crew. And during his
Oh,
beginnings,
wow.
he was a very,
Oh!
very
It's gonna be like the earlier designs of Porky Pig, isn't it?
Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight
Wow.
Revere.
No, I'm not putting Porky Pig in general here, but rather the early version of him from 1935 to 1937. In his debut, I haven't.
Oh, these guys.
The short wanted
Boom,
each
boom,
of the
boom, boom.
characters in the class to stand out.
Boom,
like
boom,
the
boom, boom,
twins,
boom,
the
boom.
incredibly shy
I don't
one,
remember how
the
it
anal
fully
little
goes, but I remember
rapscallion,
this
and
from
the
something
pompous
that
nerd.
someone sent me in a
When it came
video.
to Porky, however, they decided to make him unique.
Okay,
by
so
giving
it's
him a
the-
stutter. And I
it's
don't
the
mean
earlier
this
years
way
of Porky,
talking,
basically.
I mean like a
You know, before he
real bad
became the stuttering
problem.
pig that we all know he was.
Half a leg onward. Rode the four hundred. Forward. The light brigade charge it to me, he said. Cannon to the right of them.
Sounds bad, huh? Well, that's because
Wow.
Porky's original voice was from a man who had an actual.
Wow. Okay, sorry, there was a message that popped up, like usual when I'm, like, putting these videos together, but that actually is something I didn't know, that the original actor for Porky had an actual, like, stuttering, like, disease. Wow, that's actually kind of sad. But, you know, you gotta give props to him for actually doing the lines while having to stutter the whole time. Yeah. Give it a hands up for that, man. Because he did an amazing job fighting through that stutter. That is crazy.
Since this was the mid-1930s, and it was during a time when some comedy can go as low as, ha ha, they're different. Porky stuttering
Yeah, that's
was
not
both
even
unique and
Oh, that's
fortuitous.
actually
Yeah,
sad! No!
However, watching his early days now is actually more unpleasant.
So he
because
basically
you
also
can
has a
hear
case
Joe
of the
really
shakes with his, like,
struggling with his
stutters.
lines.
That's
And the sad part is
sad!
that he inevitably lost his role because he spent so much time
I can
stuttering
tell, like,
and
he's,
didn't
like,
make the
really
moves too
struggling, like, with his
expensive to record.
lines,
It
though.
doesn't make me want to laugh. It makes me feel sorry for the guy.
Oh, boy, what a...
Oh, wow. That actually is very sad.
Right, me and the horse will go to the city and get some honey.
If you get that bag for
Oh, that must be, like, his actual voice! They didn't speed it up that time.
When Mel Blanc took his place, he found a way to make the stuttering more harmless and comical, turning Porky into the legend.
So I'm guessing at that point the guy who, like, voiced him left, and they ended up getting Mel Blanc to do it.
That he had a really rough start.
Well, at least the dogs like him. Alright, moving on to number 8.
One of the reasons why the Looney Tunes are some of the most beloved cartoons of all time is because they are the definitive anti-Disney tunes. During the
Oof.
golden age of animation, they were considered to be Disney's greatest competitor by doing everything that the Mouse House wouldn't dare to try, by always pushing the envelope to become more insane, more explosive, more crazy, more, well, loony.
Ooh.
The cartoons are just about everything that Disney is not. And that's why people don't care about
Oh, I guess he was gonna be on this list. Not that Sniffles, like, to me is a bad character. Personally, he's just kind of annoying, honestly. I'm guessing those were, like, the earlier designs of, like, a human character in the Looney Tunes world.
In order to help him understand how to be a director,
Oh, there's a nice little reference to Snow White right here.
So that his quality can parallel theirs. The result of this was the Sniffles shorts, which very much emulate Disney by being less unpredictably chaotic and a lot more cutesy.
Gee, are you really Robin Hood? You don't look like Robin Hood, but I guess you must be Robin Hood if you say you're
Okay, okay, Sniffles, you can calm down. Sniffles, Sniffles! We get it! You're a very fast-talking character. That's probably one of the things that is, like, annoying to me about this character. Doesn't make him a bad character, it's just kind of annoying when you think about it.
They're slow, they're barely funny, and that cutesy charm.
Also, why does this worm character look like the tortoise from the Tortoise and the Hare episodes of Looney Tunes? I used to remember those being one of my favorite episodes. Especially when Bugs is the one that's on the receiving end of, like, getting, like, tricked and messed with. And just hearing him crack. It's the best.
And a real good thing that he managed to find his true voice a few days later when he made the Draft Horse and the Dover Boys. But the most proves
I don't remember those
the
characters.
reason why Warner Brothers didn't try to be like Disney is because when they do, they're kind of lame.
Why have you got that burglar around your neck, Mrs. Bear? That's a funny place to have a burglar. Aren't you going to hit Mr.
Alright, after that ad pretty much popped up, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in this, or in this video. Not my reaction video, just the video that I'm reacting to, but we're actually going down pretty quickly. Now that I have to think about it, if Sniffles is on this list, then that means the rest are, like, even worse. Oh boy. Can't wait to see what else we got on this list, so let's continue on and watch.
As un-Looney Tunes as Sniffles can be, I'll give him that he was only emulating the Disney style. Chuck Jones only wanted to copy the feel of a
Half the
Disney
time he
cartoon
just looks
in order
very
to get the
tired
being
in the
director,
cartoon
and
shorts.
he wouldn't go too far with having
Also, he's
Sniffles
saying there might be
be
that there's
full-on
character
Disney
that's
director.
way worse than
The
Sniffles.
same cannot be said,
Gee,
though,
who could
about
it be? Who are you? Foxy? Oh gosh, I just saw those human teeth. But I didn't think Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's would have gotten his start actually in a Looney Tunes short.
first cartoon they made.
Also, for some reason, he looks like Mickey Mouse. He's got bigger ears and a bushier tail, and for some, and that straight up looks like Minnie.
They wanted to be a legitimate.
The heck is going on?
Cartoon industry, they'd have to make their own Mickey Mouse. Not only did Harmon and Ising took that to
I'm
heart,
guessing this is
they
Warner
took
Brothers'
it quite
version of
literally by
Pluto,
straight up stealing Mickey's design
who Foxy is not very fond of.
to say that it's their own OG character.
But now he's okay with
All they
him
did
walking
was
with
add
him.
points to his ears, give him a bushy
Okay.
tail, add an extra line above his eyes, change his shoes, take off the buttons of his shorts, and that's apparently enough to say that this is an entirely different character.
I didn't even notice it at first, but yeah, those do look like Mickey's
He
pants.
even has a girlfriend that is pretty much a clone of him wearing a skirt.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, dear Foxy.
I'm glad to see you.
It's not bad singing from both of them, so...
It's near impossible to find.
And I'm guessing this was like the earlier days of when Warner Brothers was trying to rip off Disney at the time.
And that's exactly
I'm
why
just
Foxy did not
assuming.
last long. In total, there have only been 3 Foxy cartoons ever made. And allegedly, it was because Walt Disney himself had to take
But they
risks
probably
to
didn't
stop
stop after
making a
that.
Mickey Mouse look-alike. But there is one thing that I will give credit
Just
to
seeing
Foxy.
like characters with like human teeth like that, it just creeps me out. It's the same thing with like the early design of Sonic for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Why did they need to give him human teeth?
Rabbit's Trolley Troubles originated a song that sounds very familiar.
You know this old world is a good world after all.
Okay, it is kind of similar, I guess.
Who knew Foxy had a part in Toontown? But while he
Well, to be honest, they both like equally live in Toontown together, so makes sense. Maybe Foxy was just part of that group and he was like a hybrid that escaped.
So long, folks.
Hey, you ripped that off from Porky Pig! How dare you, Foxy!
When it comes to the Looney Tunes villains, they are some of the best examples of characters that you love to hate. But here's the thing. As much as people want to see them fail so that the hero of the short, like Bugs, can come out on top of the end, people don't...
Again, like I said, except when it's on the other end for Bugs Bunny, when he's the one who's getting like tricked and messed with. It's just hilarious to see Bugs crack half the time.
Beloved icons in their own right.
Oh, poor
Cat,
Wiley.
On the other hand, I could say that I actually hate.
Oh, jeez, he has the alien eyes.
Claude doesn't get along with him.
I feel like I do remember this character, but I don't remember from where.
I don't know about you, but throughout my life watching the Looney Tunes, I can never think of a moment where I enjoyed watching Claude Cat. The mice manipulate his mind to make.
Oh, looks like he's got a blood streak going down in.
The antagonistic role when the cat's
Oh, that's actually a pretty good up close shot of his hand. Nice job there, Warner Brothers. Oh, jeez! Very bad cat.
So that he could be the only pet of the house that gets all the attention.
Wow.
It usually doesn't work out for him.
Oh, John, look at my house. It's a wreck.
Why, you...
That's another classic one. Why, you rock. No good. That's always one of the classic like cartoon lines I love to hear.
No one who could ever get to the level of Daffy Duck. But there's something about
He's pretty much not like any of those like classic Looney Tunes characters that you love to hate.
Funny. He comes off as absolutely selfish to the point of willing to be cruel in order to get what he wants. Rather it be trying to get rid of the little frisky puppy or even stealing Pussyfoot's bed.
Wow. Oh, that poor cat. This is a cat I would want to disown, basically.
To make him look bad so that the justice he gets feels more rewarding. But I can't help but feels like he goes a little too far where there's nothing about him that's even redeemable or especially enjoyable. Not to mention that he kind of feels like a pointless add-on because he makes me wonder why can't this role be played by Sylvester?
Yep, that rumor of cats always landing on their feet.
The cartoon's go-to antagonistic cat, and he does his job very well.
What is that?
Him instead of his yellow knockoff. And the more I see this cat, the more I think Hubie and Birdie.
I actually didn't know that he was part of like the Hubie and Birdie like shorts.
For good.
That's crazy.
Just one of those days, I guess.
Anybody get the number of that truck?
Okay, I'll admit that making this list wasn't easy. In fact, trying to find Looney Tunes characters that are considered disliked was quite a task in itself.
On
Which is
little
why
heights
I
we'll
went on to social media
hit.
and I asked a
On
group
with the
of
show,
avid
this is
Looney Tunes fans
it.
to know who they
That's
think
still
is
such a
the
classic
worst or
song.
weakest character of the group. And the amount of responses I got was honestly
And I think that they had like a lot of people post like their own opinions on that. That is crazy.
You guys have been very helpful. And among all the characters they brought up, there is one name.
But who did they pick now? That's the question.
Absolutely stinks.
No! No! Animat! Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, he probably has his own reason, like, for not liking this character. I actually like Pepe Le Pew.
Now, before talking about anything else, we need to discuss about the controversy surrounding Pepe Le Pew, because I know that thing is going to awkwardly linger around people's minds like his scent. Compared to when his cartoons were released, we live in an age where intelligent,
cross-dressing,
aware of the world and the people
or
around
specifically
us.
drag queening, I think.
Chuck Jones and his team to make this.
Yeah, I could probably see some reasons why Pepe Le Pew would be on this list, but honestly, I like Pepe. I like his design. He's adorable, but he can be kind of too much of a ladies' man and a creep, even though he never gets any of the ladies he goes after. Yeah, it's just... They changed him up a little bit, though, way later in other, like, Looney Tunes iterations, and made him pretty much a better character for it, but... Yeah, still hint of that creeperness, like, left behind somehow. But, I mean, okay, let's just hear about, like, the reasons being, like, why he thinks Pepe Le Pew is the worst character on the list.
But it is very generous to say that Pepe's actions are nowadays considered outdated, since everyone knows that romantically chasing people while ignoring their refusal is no longer a laughing matter and is considered sexual harassment.
Here we go again.
If someone gets uncomfortable watching these cartoons, it's perfectly justifiable as to why. His advancements are far more likely to get him a criminal record than a girl. But that's not necessarily.
Thing is, that wasn't even a lady skunk. That was like a chinchilla or something. I don't even know what that was.
Themselves, but also, and most notably, that's all he does. I mean, he's even more one note than Hippety.
That hop.
Every single cartoon he's in, Pepe follows a formula that remains the same in each one.
I'm the locksmith of love.
Generally a black cat with some white paint on her back that Pepe mistakes for a single female skunk. And the guy passionately tries to get romantically involved with her.
I'm guessing it's the reason being it's like just his stuff kind of gets repetitive. Yeah, it kind of does. I can understand that.
It is an affair of we love each other madly.
Ah, my darling, I love you.
That is clearly a cat, my bro. That is a cat.
However, due to his toxic odor, she tries
well,
to
that
get
popped up
away
again.
as
Give me a
far as
second.
stench,
And it's
but
getting, like,
Pepe's
very
love is
laggy
too
for
strong to let her go,
no real
and
reason.
starting the big chase.
I'm just gonna
Maybe some
scooch
will
over
find
just
this
a little
funny the
bit.
first few times, but then the story
He's just got his, like, puffed out chest for no reason.
Admittedly, I didn't put him any higher on the list because I do see the potential in the character. There is plenty of material that you can do with a
Oh yeah, I remember this episode. I feel like if they kept him like French, but gave him the idea that he just is there to bother people with his stank, that actually would have made him more of an even more likable character. But that's not what we got.
Looney Tunes fans are in love with this skunk.
Why is it that whenever a man is captured by a woman, all he wishes to do is get
Yep, sort of. Alright, number 4. Here we go.
Now,
We're almost done with this
your
list,
attention
surprisingly.
towards the little jingle you hear when I present each number. There's no mistake as to why I use that tune, because this is the little song that brings fear to every Looney Tunes fan. Why? Because they know when that plays, it is often followed with some of the worst.
I mean, they changed it up a little bit to make it, like, better. Like, right
You
there.
see, the period between 1964
This was,
and
like,
1969
also the earlier days of, like,
is
Wile E.
the
Coyote and
darkest
a lot of the
times for
Looney
the
Tunes
Looney
characters that
Tunes.
we've known and
Movie
loved.
theaters are no longer obligated to
What
buy
the frick is
packages
up with
that
her
must
hair?
include a cartoon.
Jeez, look at that
They are
hair.
More of a dominant force in the entertainment industry, and the budgets for the cartoons themselves were lower than ever before.
Yeah.
It was
Animation back then
animated
for Looney Tunes
creativity.
cartoons was
Even when they tried to
not at
continue
its
the
best.
legacy of the beloved characters,
Later years it got better
things
though,
worse
just
by highlighting
not
that they have
entirely.
all passed their prime.
Oh, that's simply
They're
wonderful.
animated
Ooh,
cartoons
well,
of that
wonderfully
period,
delightful.
and that's where you'll find
I
their
forgot
worst
about those
moments.
gophers.
Seriously, ask
Which,
any
fun
Looney Tunes
fact,
fan,
the gopher,
and
one of the
they'll
gopher
tell you that
characters
the
is actually
hardest
voiced
thing
by
to do is to find
Rob
an
Paulson in
animated
a
hero
later,
that is
like,
worse
Looney
than
Tunes
Daffy Duck and
iteration.
Speedy Gonzales.
I think it was the Looney Tunes show.
You called me fathead?
Oh, no.
Is that the character?
To my friend here. Wasn't I, fathead? No, Senor Doc. I Speedy Gonzales. He's fathead.
However, even if they were in a new era
Nice job,
under
Speedy.
new management when Seven Arts acquired Warner Brothers,
There actually was some shorts that had, like, Daffy and, like, Speedy as, like, his sidekick for no real reason, honestly, but I guess it makes... Also, was that a take on, like, Bonnie and Clyde?
Wondering who, though?
Oh my gosh, it
Who
is.
That's on this list. Well, to be
Good
very
thing kids
honest,
didn't know what that
I
was
can't
back
decide
then.
Which one is the worst among them? So I'm putting them all here. Every character introduced during that horrible era, all
Wow,
deserve to
so you're
be
pretty much
in
giving
this
it
spot.
the
On
4
your
spot to
thought,
all the
feel like they're glorifying
characters.
the real-life criminals they're based on. The W.G. Fields and Kid's psychic routine of Merlin and Second Banana get old quick. And there's nothing cool about Cool Cat with how he's the bland protagonist that's being chased.
I mean, Cool Cat looks pretty okay. His design is actually
The plots are
cool.
tiring, the animation is unappealingly cheap, and the comedy is an embarrassment with how it has no sense of timing. Seriously, I wasn't even able to finish watching the first Merlin cartoon, it was so bad.
Well, what do you know? Wrong saw.
Kind of sounds like a mix of Yogi Bear and Snagglepuss for some reason. Exit, stage left, to the picnic basket.
In fact, you want to know what's the last official Looney Tunes cartoon? Specifically, the final tune that concluded this long-running series of shorts on the big
He
screen.
left a
A
hole?
1969 Cool Cat cartoon called
Okay.
Engine Trouble. And yes,
Wow.
it's as terribly cringy as it sounds.
Oh, good lord, no.
Sheesh, I get that the Looney Tunes always want to top Disney at everything, but they don't have to top Disney at being racist. So if you ever want to have a good time and have a laugh, don't watch a cartoon that starts with this logo and this tune, because the characters
Well,
behind them will give you
that's
anything
just
but
great.
that.
Well, I'll be Trey, be Lick, be Dog, be
Alright, we got 3 more. I actually wonder if he's gonna do like an honorable mention like before he gets to number 1. He probably won't.
In terms of just being here. At this point, I'm sure Pepe Le Pew is one of them and could arguably be the one that will spark the biggest debates in the comments. I mean, who could be more controversial to say that they're among the worst other than Pepe? Especially this high up on the list. Well...
Really? Are you putting Tweety on the list? Of course. Well,
I know, pretty shocking of me to put one of the most popular Looney Tunes characters not just on this top 10, but among the top 3. Especially when Tweety is one of their biggest merchandise titans. How could
Yeah,
the sweet
he
and
is big on
adorable
merchandise.
birdie be bad in any way? Well, remember the reasons why I hate Claude Cat? Imagine if he'd be able...
Again, I'm pretty sure he has his own reasons for why he's picking these certain characters in his list, but really? Tweety Bird? I mean, unless you're thinking like that he plays like the Goody Two Shoes character too much and like always gets away with like, you know, like being saved from Sylvester and being saved by other people. That's probably the reason. But anyway, let's actually continue on to see what happens. Also, I thought that cane was coming from Granny, not some random guy that's watching over Tweety.
He knows very well that everyone
Jeez,
would
like,
take his side
I
because
forgot
he's
some of my
too
favorite
innocent,
characters get
and
wrecked in
it's
Looney
wonderful
Tunes.
how he takes
Like,
advantage
badly.
of it. While it doesn't happen often, there are times when his personality does show up, and that's when he reveals that he's just a smug little brat.
That almost
that
is kind of
loves to
referencing
take
like the
his
early
cuteness
design
and
of
shove it on
Tweety
people's
Bird.
faces to make him look superior.
Yeah, that's the reason I said that he put him on the list. Oh boy. Jeez, look at that.
Come right over here and kiss the poor little birdie and make up.
Come here, Thomas, and kiss the little birdie.
Gosh, really? And eats him.
Now, I will give Tweety credit that he was...
Wow, we're actually talking about the early design of Tweety Bird. I didn't think we'd actually get to talk about that.
He was.
I did. I taught a putty cat.
Yeah, Tweety was kind of sadistic back then. Oof. He just gave up. He's like, no, I'm giving up on this. Jeez, Tweety.
But once Friz Freeling got his hands on him and paired him up with Sylvester, all of that maniacal edge is gone.
Yeah, didn't even kill him.
Fake innocent act.
Surprisingly, that was like a good thing.
Animat. Tweety is only trying to survive so that he doesn't get eaten from that bad old putty tat.
He wasn't like trying to grab him, he was just trying to punch him.
Let's say Sylvester does manage to eat Tweety. And I don't mean just get him in his mouth. I mean actually eat him up completely where you never see him again. Would anyone actually be upset about it? Would anyone feel mad that the quote-unquote bad guy won?
Some kids would cry, though.
Something that was just a long time coming for the cartoon equivalent of Ellen DeGeneres. There's no purity in that bird. It's all just to fuel his ego to make you think.
Yeah, okay, that's a little too much there, Tweety.
NFTs with his face on it. I wasn't joking, by the way.
Melt his skin off with that.
Ooh, what a hippotwit.
Being all cute and
Your
innocent
words,
birds
Tweety,
can
not
sell-
mine or anyone
And
else's.
Sure, it can help sell a lot of clothing. But when you look beyond that, he is the proof of why nobody likes someone who is dependent on their privileges.
That putty cat.
More or less, you actually gotta feel bad for Sylvester now. Alright, 2 more.
You know what's funny? Among all the major players in the Looney Tunes team, none of them are actually a dog. I mean, there are
Punch the
characters that
paint
are dogs,
right off
like
of him.
Anthony, or Sam Sheepdog, or Spike and Chester, or the Barnyard Dog who constantly gets tormented by Foghorn.
Is it Barnyard Dog? But you're lingering on this shot, so it has to be him.
How one of the most common domestic animals doesn't have a big name representative in the Looney Tunes.
I actually did cry at this episode because it was actually sad.
Directors didn't try. There was one attempt by Chuck Jones, and just one of his.
Well, these just keep popping up.
Show you exactly
All right,
why
give it a
dogs
second.
don't
It should
get
go
much
away soon.
respect at the WB.
Hey, how you doing, kid? Not so good, huh? Too bad. Tough.
Wait a minute. Oh, I remember this
I cannot
character.
think of a single moment when I watched one of these
More or less
cartoons
kind of
and
like
come
with
out enjoying
Sniffles, he was
Charlie
more of an
Dog.
annoying
It's not
character.
that someone tried
But I
to
did
be
like his
Pepe Le Pew,
personality.
but ended up
Very,
making
very
so
snarky.
much
There it
worse.
is. There it is.
Charlie isn't
There
as
it is.
controversial
There it
as
is.
Pepe, but in exchange of the offensiveness, he has absolutely no charm or anything likable about him. What he does is try to force himself to be someone's pet, usually Porky Pig, and refuses to take no for an answer.
More or less, he was just, like, wanting to annoy Porky, not anyone else.
Look, I'm lovable. I'm affectionate. Oh, goody, are we going bye-bye?
Oh, but you are.
But what makes Charlie Dog absolutely despicable, even more than his own actions, is his intentions.
Okay, that's more or less creepy than, like,
He's
adorable.
not a lonely puppy who's looking for an owner to love.
Wow.
He's deliberately
Oh, I
looking for
remember
someone
this.
to be his servant, using them for their home, for their food, all while pretending to show them affection when none of it is
Porky's
genuine.
face! He's like,
Seriously, he
what did
doesn't
this
hide
dog
that
do
he
to
views
me?
owners like an all-day sucker.
Yep, pretty much.
Even among the other characters on this list, you could probably find something that's redeemable about them, no matter how small it could be. But with Charlie Dog, there is nothing that can be said that can make him look good or funny. He may have only appeared in just a handful of cartoons, but there's no denying that Charlie has overstayed his welcome.
Porky, you are gonna get PETA called on you pretty soon. Although, technically, I don't know how PETA would respond to a pig talking to them and talking about getting rid of a dog.
With that mutt out of the way, before we get into the worst character of the bunch, I'd like to have an honorable mention.
Oh, he does do honorable mentions. Okay.
You may remember that a significant rule for this list is that a character has to appear in at least 2 cartoons to qualify, which you'd be surprised how this really...
I don't know why he's going
narrows
back
down
to,
the
like, what he
nominations.
started off with his
However,
intro.
Let's say that we take away that rule.
Jeez, that
Suddenly,
bull.
all of the one-off characters are...
A sun chop!
Who would be the worst among them?
That was my favorite
The
character in that
best thing about
episode.
them is that they've never appeared in anything else since. I know there's a lot of options out there, but I'm gonna
Everybody
have to
do
go
the
with
Michigan
this.
rag. No! Okay. So we saw his honorable mention. Didn't need to see it. Jeez, I forgot that Warner Brothers liked to do that with blackface characters back then. Oh. I wanted to forget that character existed. But thanks for that. Thanks for bringing that up, Animat. Thanks a lot. All right, let's just get on to number 1, and we can finish this video off. Finally.
If you enjoyed this top 10,
Okay,
then don't
so
forget to subscribe for
let's
more
get to
crazy
it.
Cartoon chaos from me.
Yep.
Anyways, you'd be surprised that this was actually an easy choice. Even when starting this list, I knew that there was only one character that would immediately be at number 1.
Oh, geez, that's actually
If you know Cartoon's
terrifying.
history, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The one that fans, critics, animators, and
I forgot about this!
unanimously agree that this is not only the worst Looney Tunes character, but
Jeez,
also
that was
one of the
actually
worst
gruesome.
cartoon characters ever
But who's the
made.
last character on your list,
For
bud?
the number 1 worst Looney Tunes character, meet...
Who?
Back in
What?
1933, Hugh Harman and Rudy Ising broke up with Leon Schlesinger and walked away with their characters like Bosco, leaving Leon completely cartoonless. In a desperate act to stay in the business, he brought in several animators from other studios to make him a new cartoon star. And the best they can come up with is a guy. He's not some anthropomorphic animal.
I guess it
that
was their
makes him
attempt at
distinguishable.
more doing like
He
a
doesn't have a
human character
personality
than
that
any
goes
of the
beyond
anthro-animal
cute,
characters that
go-lucky.
they've
He doesn't
pretty much
have
had.
anything or do anything that makes him stand out.
But I really don't remember this
He's a
guy.
bland white guy that barely faces
I
any
guess I can see
conflicts.
why he's on this list. Because not a lot of people remember him. Also, he started a dance party with a bunch of
Wait, go
Not
back to that-
again!
Oh no, not this racist crap again!
Oh no!
Even his pals Sniffles are able to do anything about the staleness of his cartoons, where they just play the typical roles these shorts generally have, like Cookie being Buddy's girlfriend and Towser is his
He also
loyal
had a
dog.
girlfriend.
There are even records that
Okay.
show that nobody at Warner Brothers or anyone who worked on Buddy actually liked him, where Bob Clampett called him a creature of limitless blandness. In fact, his case is so bad that
they brought him back in,
a punchline that
well, thank you for that, Warner siblings. That was actually helpful.
Well, what do you think?
Congratulations, Borax. You've discovered a cure for insomnia.
And this is exactly why he's one of the worst toons ever. Because he offers absolutely nothing. He's an obvious ripoff of...
In other words, he just shouldn't have existed.
Or has any likability to make his audience feel something. There's nothing.
Also,
there's nothing.
I don't know whether to call that child abuse or adult child abuse.
That is worth investing a brain cell to have you remember him. They're exactly what cartoons watch when they watch old cartoons. Just a few minutes worth of moving drawings without substance or meaning that can only make the time pass by. Out of all the cartoons in history, Buddy is the most forgettable.
Well, they almost killed themselves.
Unoriginal, and above all else, the worst Looney Tunes character of all time.
Alright, there you have it, guys. There was the first animat video that I've reacted to in pretty much a long time since my old channel. And it was a top 10 list on worst Looney Tunes characters. 2 of them happen to be one of my favorites, but hey, it's his own personal reason why he thinks they're on the list and why he thinks they're the worst. Although most people consider them to be the worst for reasons, I guess. But hey, it still was a fun list to watch, and I got a laugh out of some of them. Some characters I've never heard of, and some that were kind of in my memory, just like locked back in there, like in the deepest part of my mind. Somehow they were locked in there. Not as much to say about the video, but I definitely enjoyed it. If there's any other like animat videos you want me to react to, let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to never miss a video. And with that, I will see all you awesome guys and gals later. Bye-bye!